Alright, just driving down the motorway here, just been in a completely different end of the country to pick up all the motor engine blocks you can see here behind me. So on the way back I might do a little video, and of course we have to talk about the situation as always. I really hate the fact that it's so necessary to always talk about this goddamn situation, but it is necessary unfortunately, and that's because it's a continuous program, and that's why I have often called it the merry-go-round. And it's just the same old bullshit, but it always continues and it always intensifies. And so they have for the longest time just endlessly been labeling me guilty, you know all this, for every despicable thing known to man under the sun. But now they're going even further. They are starting to build a narrative that I supposedly as a kid has been involved in all kinds of abuse, especially sexual abuse, and they're trying to build a complete narrative around my supposed childhood, which hasn't been great, but it hasn't been that bad, and they are trying to project something completely and utterly false. And that I know just by hearing a very small fragments of what they are trying to lay the foundation for. And you can say they are building a narrative, and then they're trying to use that narrative foundation going forward to claim that I'm some kind of a monstrous sex criminal, a serial criminal, and they're going to lay it on thick, real thick, and I'm going to be the baddest man ever. And it's going to be like children in schools are going to be taught about how completely outrageous, insane criminal, sex criminal that I supposedly am and have always been. And they are, this is what they're working towards, while you know in reality there hasn't even been a single case against me, and there is no real actions, there's no material actions of mine or words of mine that even suggest anything remotely in those kind of narratives that they are laying out. So they are building a completely fictitious groundwork, and they are really trying to indoctrinate it into the minds of the people. So people will going forward will believe this. So when for some reason I'm not here, they're going to completely rewrite my entire life and the entire program's lifespan, if you will, as it relates to me. And it is this that they are doing right now by claiming all of these things that have supposedly happened in my childhood without me having any involvement in the narratives that they are laying out whatsoever. I don't need know other than the fact that this is what they're doing. And they also, what I have noticed, which tells me that I'm on the right track, they are starting to threaten me with more and more with being institutionalized for speaking out against the things that they are doing. And I'm more and more, if I'm even meeting anybody and having a conversation with them, because of all the synthetic telepathy harassment that they are perpetuating against anyone, and even children and the elderly, just by the fact that you're in my vicinity. Well, I'm starting to talk to say to these people, don't blame me for the state's communications and whatnot. And I have also put a little sign on my car window. I have a for sale sign, and underneath I'm saying something similar about the government's synthetic telepathy communications, because they are so dependent on being able to communicate through synthetic telepathy and blaming me for it, that it will be a real problem for them if this ability is ruined, if you will, by me communicating rightfully to people that who's doing this and why they're doing this. So that's why they're now threatening me with being institutionalized. So I'm on the right track, and I'm gonna have to take some real steps in advertising in who's doing what, and I have to make a real big effort to kind of to give people the right information so they know who is doing what, and that will certainly put a damper, or at least it will change some things going forward for the state arbiters of this program not being able to just set me up by claiming that I'm thinking this, that and the other, and having people judge me for what they are communicating through this synthetic telepathy system. And that's kind of what's happening right now, and yeah, it's pretty mad, but nevertheless this is what is going on in real time. The use of synthetic telepathy, the use of propaganda and psychological warfare is now the norm against anybody and everybody. So yeah, things are pretty fucking treacherous, kind of like this person's driving over here.